What did you make of the fact that she said, when she was sort of guessing how he may come up with this money or what he might choose to sell off? Yeah. She said, well, I look up at 40 Wall Street every single day.
Yes, and that chip on her shoulder is why we're here today. One thing I can tell you is that her goal of tearing down the Trump organization, her goal of tearing down the individuals that work so hard, including on his campaign, his family, and the list goes on and on, her goal is frankly not going to succeed. That's all I'm willing to say. Martha, all I can say is this. President Trump is one of the smartest businessmen, one of the greatest presidents we have ever seen. If she thinks she is going to take him down, if that was her goal, which we all know very well it was, and she got a strong assist there in court. But I will tell you this, that goal will not be successful. And that is the message I can give to everyone listening here. It will not be successful.
And that is the message I can give that is not based on any evidence from the track record I have of defending Donald Trump, but just believe that she's not going to succeed in taking all of those properties that Fox News very conveniently listed there. Now, also conveniently, they could have just put under each of those properties what Donald Trump claimed it was worth and what it was actually worth. They could have actually talked about the fraud that led to him being fined, $500 million. They declined to do that. But anyway, bold words there. But Martha MacCallum is going to push her. So, what are you legally doing to protect him? And take a look at what she says.
You can post a bond, which is an option. You can tell the judge that you should set aside the verdict because it's insane, which this is.
Will you be asking him to do that?
Those options are on the table. I will never show my cards, Martha. You know I'm too good to do that.
Does she know that? Does anyone know that?
Good? Did she win the case?
Did you win any case ever? So Alina Habba there is obviously trying, she clearly is worried about her reputation, okay? And here's the thing. In a few minutes, we're gonna get to her trying to boost herself in a different interview, and there are some amazing quotes there. But just really fast, since we're talking about the money, I wanna give people an update and then I want your thoughts, Francesca, because it's $355 million. That's what you've heard. It's not that. It's higher. Literally every day I find out about a new way that it's higher than that. So he was initially ordered to pay $355 million in the New York civil fraud lawsuit, plus more than $98 million in interest, okay? Every day, as we talked about yesterday on the show, the accruing interest adds $87,500. Now, unless he wants to pay the entire penalty while his expected appeal is considered, he'll instead have to, as Alina Habba talked about in that clip, post an appeal bond. This is typically up to 120% of the judgment plus the current interest, which is why we're talking about something more like 450 or God knows what. But it's actually even more than that. At that rate, Trump's original ruling with the interest and the extra 20% would indicate he'll need to secure a bond worth more than $540 million. And it is apparently unlikely that he'll be able to use his actual properties as collateral. That is beyond my expertise. Experts say that real estate is not considered to be good collateral. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's what they're saying. But it's actually even more than that, because Trump could have to liquidate some assets, not just to secure the bond, but also to pay the fee to the bonding company. So the company that does the bond also gets money. And when it's over $500 million, the fee that they get is a lot. It is estimated that the fee for the bond will be $35 additional million, which is a lot of gold sneakers from China. Francesca, what do you think?
I mean, he knows this better than anyone, and that's why he's been over-reporting or under-reporting his assets based on where, and moving money around based on where the taxes go. He knows it's not cheap to do any of this stuff. I think he'll do it. He will appeal. Obviously, it's gonna happen because unless he's already done it, but it's gonna happen. Even though it'll rack up the bill, all he needs is time. John, he has to buy time until he becomes president, and then suddenly, all of the deep state is like, I don't know. We've never made a president actually pay the penalty for his financial crimes before. Guess we wouldn't start now. Doopy doopy doo. Excuse me, I'm going to fascism town. Yeah, da 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 da. And then it's like a whole thing. Ba 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 ba. Like truly, no. But I mean, I'm not really joking. All he's waiting for is to be reelected, and then suddenly everyone is too scared to actually hold him accountable for his crimes. And that's what I think we're terrified of as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're getting a taste of justice in this and the E.J. and Carroll trial, and we'll see with some of the others, but it could all just evaporate if he becomes president. So let's make sure that that doesn't happen. But that said, I did tell you that Alina Habba is on this tour that is ostensibly defending and speaking up for Donald Trump. That's what she's being booked for. But in practice, it really seems to be more about defending herself. She was talking to Rob Finnerty, who's the host of, quote, Wake Up America, but presumably don't be woke once you're woken up, I guess. It's a right-wing show. And she said this: I'm so proud of the work that I've done, and any attorney who actually reads transcripts and looks at the rulings that we got before we got into court, evidentiary rulings, things like that, losses that have happened, and we've had wins, many wins, but nobody reports them. And I tried to find out what they are, those wins supposedly are, and I guess nobody has reported them because there's no evidence of any wins. It must be the media's fault. But the losses that have happened are not a result of the facts not being on our side or bad lawyering. They're a result of the fact that he is the leading candidate for the Republican Party and frankly for president in general. That is her theory, which conveniently absolves her of responsibility. But I have an alternative theory. The losses are not a result of the facts not being on our side or bad lawyering. It's a result of the fact that Donald Trump committed these crimes and the judge and jury saw that. I think that that is the fundamental problem. She is a bad lawyer, clearly. People who know far more about the law and court procedure have attested to that. But even if she were a good lawyer, it doesn't necessarily help when he definitely committed these crimes. So to that extent, I will speak in defense of her. Any quick comment to that?
No, I think it's look, it's not an enviable job. I mean, look at how Rudy Giuliani turned up. The guy can't take a pat on the back and be like, I'm dying. There's a lawsuit here, right? Will you pay me? Like, so we will see. Alina Habba is going to definitely be in some sort of like personal injury accident and go around with like one of those like neck braces and be like, this just happened. It's the only way I can make money. I'm being paid in a Stitch Fix discount coupon right now.
Everybody save your money for possibly discounted cameos from Alina Habba coming soon.